Speaking of WCW Thunder, after unfortunately a botched top rope bulldog, you unfortunately broke your neck, which was complete paralysis. What I read was 5 minutes. I was wondering if you can actually tell us a bit more about that night, and of course, after they brought you backstage, like what was going on through your head, staring up at those lights, because you were in the hype of everything, man. Like the NWO, Vicious and Delicious, like you were at the mecca of your career at that current moment.
Everything you just said was on my mind. Plus, ironically, that day I just had wrote an $88,000 check to buy the property for my land to build a house on. I climb in my $85,000 Jag and drive to Columbia, South Carolina and break my neck. And I remember that was the first thing that hit me looking at the lights was, how am I going to pay that $88,000 check? How am I going to pay for my car? How am I going to pay for this? Oh my God. And then, motorcycle, wrestling. Oh my God, it's over. And it was just all coming at me, And I remember as soon as I got hit, I would say looking back on it, I would say about the 1001, 1002, about the 1006 area, I knew I was paralyzed. I knew something bad was wrong. But when he went to lift me, to turn me over to cover me, I was like, I'm paralyzed. And he was like, his eyes got real big. But the finish of the match was Bulldog, Rick covers me. 1, 2. Scotty hits him with a chair, and then puts me on top. Ref counts 1, 2, 3. NWO wins. So Bulldog, I'm paralyzed, and when he turns me over to cover me, I'm going, Scotty, no, I'm paralyzed. Don't touch me. Don't. If you look back at my mouth at that junction, I'm talking 1,000 miles an hour. And I just know I'm saying I'm hurt. Don't touch me. I'm paralyzed. I can't feel nothing. And you got to look quickly, but because Virgil, God bless his soul too, but he was such an idiot. God bless him. But he thought I was not hurt. He was trying to slide me out. So, but before he tried to slide me out, if you look, most people don't know this, but if you are on your stomach and you are dead, paralyzed, or 100% passed out, any human being in the world that you roll over, man or woman, their legs are going to cross. And if you look back at that video, now I didn't know this till this happened to me, but looking back at the video, my legs cross. But when it comes back, they're fixed because stupid Virgil, God bless him, he was trying to slide me out thinking I was just faking it, working it, So, but that's the first thing I want to tell you. So that was the complete paralysis. And then once everybody realized I was hurt and not touch me, but he went ahead and go, what happened is the finish kept going, which is, what playbook do you get? Hey, this is what happens when you are paralyzed on a live television taping with 10 seconds to go. There's no checklist for this. There's no cue card for it. So boom, broke neck. I'm paralyzed. He's covering me. Scotty hits Rick with a chair and just thinks he's going to put my arm on Rick. 1, 2, 3, we win. And my arm goes. And so 2 guys are laying down. 1, 2, 3. Well, who wins? Who won? Both guys' backs were down. So, Bobby Heenan, I'm going to go see what's going on. And that's when, him and everybody they were talking, trying to figure it out. But at that junction, what I was going through, I remember vividly. And it was, I had recently heard that you should never question God. God is a huge part of my life right now, but he's always been there. He just hasn't been as close as we are now and the relationship we have now. But I've always been a God-fearing man and a believer of Jesus Christ. But I remember that night, and I remember instantly. I mean, who wouldn't say, "Are you kidding? I'm Buff Bagwell. Why does this happen to me? You got to be kidding. On Monday Night Nitro, how could it happen? Why did this happen?" But I remember hearing a sermon about never asking why to God. And it just became vivid to me that night. So what I remember saying is, I remember wanting to say, "Why, God? Why am I paralyzed on live television, man?" Instead, I said, "Is this the plan you have for me? I'm asking you, God, is this truly the plan that you have? Is this it?" And as I started talking to Danny, our trainer, and to Rick Steiner and Lex and Scott Norton, I remember vividly going, "Hey guys, you know, I can go to schools and I can talk like Christopher Reeves does at schools, and I can share that my story with them." And I remember that in that 5 or 6 or 7 minute area of being completely paralyzed, for me to find positivity into doing something positive with what I had happened to me, I really believe saved my life. Because as soon as I said that, Danny Young, our trainer, goes, "Your left hand is moving." And I can't look at my hand because I'm still, everything just started coming back, I guess, because my hand was moving and I couldn't feel it. But at that junction, I remember feeling my arm and stopped, and then the other arm and stopped. And if you watch the whole video back, you'll see me go one time, and I put my arm back down because I still can't feel this, and I'm freaking out. So about that stage, I'm duct taped to the board, duct tape, duct tape. I can't move anything, but I did not stop doing this at my toes, and I kept asking, "Look, if I can move my fingers and my toes, does that mean I'm paralyzed?" Or, and nobody would answer me. And finally, I go, "Hey, MFers, can't you hear me?" And a dude goes, "We can't answer you because we don't know." And I said, "Thank you for telling me that." So the next 3 hours, two CAT scans and an MRI later, the doctor walks in and goes, "Sit up." And keep in mind, the last thing I remember is I was totally paralyzed. So I go to set up, and at the same time I start to set up, I feel 100% normal. And I go, "What happened?" And he goes, "You bruised your spinal cord. When you broke your neck at 3-4 and 6-7, where you broke it, it hit your spinal cord and it bruised. When you bruise your spinal cord, it swells. When your spinal cord swells, the human body thinks it's paralyzed. The swelling goes down and you're 100% again. But if we don't go in and move that, somebody pushes you, you fall again, another hit to that area, and it will sever your spinal cord and you'll be paralyzed forever." So that's the story behind it. And I remember, going straight out of that room, and they dropped me off at the hospital in Atlanta. And I had to wait there for about 3 days till the doctor was ready, but I couldn't go home or anything because they knew I'd probably go to the gym and do something I'm not supposed to do. So they kept me kind of like in jail, but in the hospital.